Hey, peace everyone. Welcome to Finding the Light. So this video is from men who've been hurt by women. And women get hurt by men. This is not a video shaming women or bashing women, so I'm not even going to get into that. But this is definitely some, you stumbled onto this video, you're a guy, you got hurt by a woman and you're hurt. And what I started off saying is that every man goes through this. And hopefully when it happens to you, hopefully some of the tips I give you in this video will help you, like I was able to get help. So rewind 20 years plus. I'm told 22 years, man. 22 years ago, I was working in Atlanta, Georgia, and I was working for Time Warner Cable. In the event, one of the guys I worked with, this is in Georgia, Atlanta, and this guy was a redneck. He was and I'm just illustrating that this could happen to anyone. He told me he was a redneck. He had a pickup truck and he had guns, and his friends, all they did was buy guns. And he was a real smart guy. He used to show me a lot. He had a computer science major. I was new into IT, and he used to help me out. He was sharp, smart as a whip, and he didn't fear me. He was early 30s, and I'm not into men at all, but he's not somebody that I would say was ugly. It's not like that. And I remember his woman's picture, a picture of his woman, that was on his desk. She was fine, man. She was she was like this Native American Caucasian mix. I just remember her body, man. Think of a body of a woman that you would say 10, but she was 10 plus. And you had this picture of her when they were at the beach, and she was just beautiful. She's the kind of woman you would definitely want to show off, right? And I worked with him for about 4 months. Cool, always happy. So one day I come into work, and I'm not into this whole God thing. I'm still trying to figure out spirituality. That's what the purpose of this channel. But imagine if God's hand came down to earth and just ripped his soul out. His body was just left. That's what happened when he broke up with his girlfriend. I remember, man, it was like, for the rest of the time I worked with him, worked for him a few more months after, he was never the same. He was just like a shell of this individual that I had met. And, I never understood. I didn't understand it until later. I was dating, and I had my woman here or there, but I didn't really understand what he was going through until years later. I got hit. 15 years later, or 15 plus years later, I ran into this woman, and man. And when I got involved with her, I really didn't have any business being with her because I had my own emotional problems. And I remember for almost a year after I was seeing this woman, I was an emotional wreck. I couldn't stop thinking about her. I couldn't stop thinking about pain. Here's what eventually helped me. During this course of the period, whatever, I started doing research on relationships. And the guys who are quote unquote experts on relationships, they've been through this, but what they do is they kind of guide men. See, in America, American men, Western men have really lost their way. And I don't want to blame them, us holistically. It's just that this marriage structure, or the relationship structure here, is broken. It doesn't really match what's going on right now, because a lot of women, their actions are based on their feelings. And it's not to say they're bad or evil or whatever, but unless you take time to understand them, just like you go to a school to become a black belt, you learn karate, you go to school to learn a trade about electronics. Men, for whatever reason, a lot of us, we don't think that we need this some kind of help when it comes to dating or women. All right, and you do. But in any event, one of the most important things that I had heard when I was going through this spell of hurt and pain, trying to rebound, deepest game came from a woman. I was working with her and I told her my version of the story, and she emphatically told me, she said, listen, never allow a woman to control your emotions. And I'll repeat that again. Do not allow a woman to control your emotions in any aspect. So what I mean by that is this: you're happy, your life as a man, you're happy, you have X, Y, and Z, you do X, Y, and Z. If she's in your life, great. If she leaves you, bye, bitch. You have to get to that point, and it's not that you're cold-blooded or anything, but as a man, when you start, and I think that's what ultimately the whole theme of this whole MGTOW movement is. You have men saying they're going their own way and whatever. I don't think it needs to be that extreme. Just make sure that any woman who comes into your life, make sure she's like a cheerleader for you. And you could be whatever for her, but for you. And one of the most important things that I would have to say when you're getting over your pain about this woman, do not contact her. Do not contact this woman. This woman hurt you. She cheated on you. She played you. Move on. Don't think about revenge. Don't think about reaching out, see if she's okay. Move on. Because what's gonna happen is, more than likely, you're thinking that this individual cares about you and is concerned about you, when in fact, probably they're not. They're somewhere doing something else. And for weeks, days, and after you've broken up, you're in the back of your mind, you're thinking about them, and you're like, hey, I want to reach out. And that's what happened to my friend recently. He broke up with his wife. She cheated on him, a divorce, painful divorce. And then he winds up telling me like a year later, he reached out to her again. And he actually took her out to Valentine's Day. So basically all those wounds he had, he just ripped them back open again. He was going to therapy, and I'll share with y'all, man, the shit was so bad. Dude went on disability. He had a nervous breakdown. He got hurt. And so does this mean that women are evil? No. I'm not going to get into the whole relationship game and everything. You're going to have to find that information for yourself. You're going to have to find relationship experts and listen to the information. But I've just given you a small amount of information, Don't contact that woman again. The woman that hurt you for whatever reason, leave her alone. There are certain relationship experts now that even debate whether or not you should love a woman. And I'm saying don't devote yourself to her. Like, love her like you love your bike, or love her like you love, like, I don't want to say your dog, but she's not your life partner. You love her because ultimately she's going to do something, or you have the kind of relationship with her like you would have with, I'd have to say, a child. Because eventually she's going to do something to you to hurt you. And it's just a matter of time. And because in this country, there are no laws to enforce a certain kind of behavior for women or men. But with women, their emotions are involved. And when it comes down to it, they're just going to do what they want. And ultimately, there's nothing. That's why that right now on YouTube, there are a whole bunch of coaches and life coaches and relationship coaches for men. Because for the longest time, we've been deceived in thinking that women are, like, these really innocent creatures. And they're not. They're out around there, my mother, whoever's an American woman. For the most part, most American women, they run circles around men because men never take the time out to understand them. And you have to do it. You have to read the books. And you have to understand their nature. All right? And I'm not the know-it-all, but what I'm trying to say is, if you want to get past that pain and stuff you're going through, all guys go through it, and don't contact this woman. Concentrate on making yourself happy, and then a new woman will be drawn into your life. All right? But this woman, don't go on her Facebook page, don't look her up on IG, and don't think about calling her. Don't do it for any reason. All right?